videos about cats. Do any of you like to watch those silly cat videos? Okay, right, okay, cool. Cool. In a moment I'm going to tell you what my favourite type of YouTube videos are. Put your hand up if you like to watch YouTube videos. Now this gives something away about my wife. If you like to watch YouTube videos about silly little babies, about babies being really silly, if either of you like to watch baby videos? No one? No one? Okay, well I thought they were quite few, okay? Okay, put your hand up if you like to watch Vines, silly videos, Vines, very short clips. You like to watch them, okay? Put your hand up if you ever watch TED Talks. You know what I'm talking about? TED Talks, yeah? Put your hands up, okay. Do you know what kind of videos I really like to watch more than anything? Do you know my favourite type of videos are? Let me tell you, social experiments. Have you ever heard of a social experiment? Have you seen those social experiments on YouTube? Just put your hand up if you've heard of social experiments before, yeah? Yeah? Okay, I'll tell you one thing about a social experiment. In 1 second, if we just move out of the way for this nice man here and just keep people in there. Okay, that's great. Lovely. Gareth, if you just give this guy some space.
No, you must hold on to you.
Great. Okay, so for those of you just going by, we're talking about social experiments, okay? And I'm saying to you, my favourite type of YouTube videos are social experiments. Can I have I need a volunteer, can I borrow my friend Ewan if you come and stand here, okay? Now, in fact, just stand here on the floor. Right. So there's a really funny video on YouTube of a social experiment. And it's a guy, right, and he says, right, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask directions to get to McDonald's. But I'll tell you, there's a bit of a catch to it. Every time I ask directions for McDonald's, I'm going to get really close into that person's personal space. And then there's a guy, and he's got a hidden bag, and he films it. So he goes up to you or someone, and he goes, excuse me, can you tell me where McDonald's is? And you see them walk past, and that's a really funny video, okay? But we're going to create our own social experiment right now. Okay. Car backfire there. Okay, now that's a loud bang, isn't it? That got your attention. Who likes watching bangs on YouTube? I don't like loud noises at all. Right, but before we do the social experiment, I need a little bit of interaction. So you just pull forward a bit. I need you to help me out here now. On this board, I've got the 6 most famous, most hated men ever to live, okay? I've got the 6 most hated men ever to live. And I want you to help me now. I want you to help me name these most hated men. So, can anybody name for me number 1? Does anybody know who the most hated man on this board, who is this one? Number 1. Someone shout it out to me. Adolf Hitler. Whenever someone gets it right, we're going to give him a round of applause. So he said Adolf Hitler. Give him a round of applause. There we go. Excellent. Bit harder. Can anybody name? For those of you going by, thank you for stopping. I'm so grateful for your time because let's agree with this. Time is more precious than money. Because you can get your money back but you can't get your time back. So I'm grateful for your time now. Now person 2.
Ted Bundy.
Number 2. What did you say?
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy, give him a round of applause. Okay, that's a very hated man. Now, Ted Bundy was known for horrible things. He did nasty things to women, very disrespectful. Adolf Hitler, what was he known for? Killing 6 million Jews. Now, this man here, can you pronounce it? What did you say?
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong. Say that again, I can't pronounce it right.
Mao Zedong.
Zedong. That is excellent. Give him a round of applause. Brilliant. Okay. Anybody else in the crowd? Can anybody name number 4? Does anybody know what probably the most hated man in Britain? Would you agree with that?
Oh,
who can name number 4? Okay.
Jimmy Savile.
Jimmy Savile. Give this lad a round of applause. Excellent. Okay. Those who go by, I'm saying, can you name the 6 most hated men? So we've got Ted Bundy, Adolf Hitler. Can you pronounce Mao Zedong? I can't pronounce it at all. And number 5, one of the most famous men in the world,
John.
Who is this man? Someone name number 5 for me. Ronald McDonald Trump. Excellent. Now, remember how at the beginning beginning, I said to you, we're going to do a social experiment. This is a social experiment. Number 6 on this board is the most hated man ever to live. He is the most hated man ever to walk planet Earth. I'm going to do an experiment now. You watch with your own eyes. Everybody now take a look to your left. Everyone take a look to your right. Take a mental picture of everyone who's standing here now. Remember, everyone who's standing here. And I guarantee to you now, I guarantee you 100%, when I turn this person over, when I flick this over, at least one person will walk off because they hate this man so much. I promise you now, this is a social experiment. This is the most hated man on earth. When I flick this over, at least one person in the crowd is going to walk off because you don't like this person at all. Now, will you do me a favour? Before I turn this over, it was said about this person that they hated him without a reason. So if you walk off when I turn this over, will you just do me a favour? In your own mind, will you just think about what is the reason? What is the reason why I don't like this person? Why is it I hate this person, okay? Are you ready for this? This is a social experiment. One person's going to walk off now. Whoa! And I'm going to fall off that board in a minute. Okay, I'll turn it over. Okay, you've all stayed, but just, I guarantee now, I guarantee, some of you'll creep off in a few minutes. You'll creep off. You don't want to be the first one to do it, but you'll creep off quietly in the background. Can I just say, if you give me 2 more minutes of your time, I'm going to tell you something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. So let me just ask you this, right? Guess who do you think I met last week? A famous celebrity, world famous celebrity, actor, and I'll give you a clue, who's in Lord of the Rings. Who do you think I met last week?
Ian McKellen.
This man is on fire. Ian McKellen, give him a round of applause. Now, I'm a Christian, and I spoke to Ian McKellen about things of God. And Ian said to me, I'm an atheist. So we talked about atheism, we talked about evidence for God. But you know what happened? I then tried to talk about Jesus. What do you think Ian McKellen did? He changed the subject. Now I know some of you might be thinking, I don't really hate Jesus, I don't hate him. But Jesus said, if you're not for me, you're against me. But let me ask you this question now. Why do you think people hate Jesus? Why don't they like him? I mean, think about this. Why is it people don't like this man, Ted Bundy? Because he was abusive to women. Do you know there was a woman once, okay, in Jesus' time, there was a woman and she was cast out onto the streets because she cheated on her husband. She was completely naked, right? And there was these men and they got these stones up and they said, let's stone her, let's kill her. Do you know what Jesus said? If any of you have never done anything wrong, I dare you to cast the first stone. That's very interesting, isn't it? Jesus stuck up for women in those days. What about this man here? Why is it we don't like Jimmy Savile? Because Jimmy Savile was abusive to children. Do you know what Jesus once said? Jesus said, if you abuse a child, it would be better for you that you had never been born. Now, many people think, well, Jimmy Savile, he got off scot-free. Well, I'll tell you one thing for free. Jimmy Savile is in hell now, and he'll be suffering for all of eternity. He will get justice because God does not let anyone walk out. And the last one is this. Donald Trump, Ronald McDonald Trump. Why is it people don't like Donald Trump? I mean, I don't mind him, but a lot of people don't like him. I'll tell you why.
He's alright, it's his hairdresser.
It's his hairdresser, yeah. Well, do you know what they said? They said if Donald Trump gets in, then we'll all have to pay. Never mind, think about it, okay. But why do people not like Donald Trump? He's a bit power hungry. Do you know what Jesus was? He was the opposite to power hungry. Do you know what Jesus did once? He got down and he washed people's feet. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that Donald Trump would get down on his knees and wash someone's feet? He wouldn't, would he? But this is what I want to say to you now, friends. Even though you might hate Jesus, even though you might not like Jesus, Jesus totally and utterly loves you. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, came into this world. He was on a throne in heaven. He didn't have to come into this world, but he did for you. Let me tell you why he did it. You've done wrong, haven't you? I've done wrong. You know, before I was a Christian, believe it or not, I used to be a drug dealer. So you wouldn't think about that, but I was a drug dealer. I was a bad person before, okay? But Jesus Christ, he hung on a cross. He had nails driven in his hands. For all the times you've done things with your hands you know you shouldn't. He had nails driven through his feet. For all the times you walked to places you know you should not be there. And you stayed there even though you knew you shouldn't be there. You know, he had scars in his head. He had a crown of thorns smashed into his head. For all those times you thought thoughts that if your mum and dad could see those thoughts you thought, you'd be totally ashamed. He hung there for you, for your sin. Everything for you because he loves you, and he died there because he took your punishment for all the sins you've done wrong. Let me finish with, thank you for those who've stopped, let me finish with the most powerful story I've ever heard. Now, some of you might have heard of a man called Roger Carswell. Now, Roger Carswell's a very famous preacher, okay? So, for those of you who are pulling faces, you don't know who he is. It's because he's a preacher. But what many people don't know about Roger Carswell is he used to be an RE teacher. And one day, Roger was doing a class in RE, and they were doing it all about Jesus' death and resurrection. And they'd drawn out this cartoon strip, okay? And what happened was, he took the cartoon strip, and a little boy called William came to the front. And he said, he was 14 years old, and this boy, this lad said, Mr. Carswell, I'd like to know that when I die, I will 100% go to heaven. How can I be sure of that? And Mr. Carswell, well, he looked at his watch and he thought, well, it's 5 to 4, the bell's about to go any minute. I don't really have time to go into this. So he said, I tell you what, William, go home, pray to Jesus, ask him to forgive you, and tomorrow we'll have a chat about it. So anyway, the bell goes, and as you know, everyone belts out, runs for the door. The next day comes, and Roger Carswell's driving to work. And as he's driving to work, he sees these blue flashing lights. He hears these sirens, and he thinks, oh, it's just another ambulance again. Anyway, he starts to walk up to his corridor. And as he walks up, there's 4 boys from William's class standing there. And they say, Mr. Carswell, have you heard the news? William's been killed. And what happened was, that day William was walking on the pavement and a lorry had overturned and crushed him against a brick wall. And Roger Carswell said he learnt a valuable lesson that day. He said, never again will I say, go away and think about it. Never again will I say, go and have a think about it. From now on, every single day, I'm going to say, you come tonight, you come now, because today could be your last day on earth. And that's what I'm saying to you, friends. I don't know what you think about Jesus. I don't know if God's spoken to you, but don't put it off. None of us know when we're going to die. Did you know this? 150,000 people die every single week. And I'll tell you one thing for free. I bet you they all had plans for the next day. None of us know when we're going to go, and I would plead with you, if God has spoken to you, you come and you say, Jesus, I've done wrong, I want to receive you tonight. And he will. He'll accept you. One more thing, one more challenge to you, okay? This is a bit of a silly challenge, but here we go. What would you think of me if I said to you, Harry Potter is a terrible book? What would you think of me? I said to you, Harry Potter is the worst book in the world. What would you think of me? You pushed me in the sea, okay. Okay, what would you do if I said Harry Potter is a terrible book, but I've never ever read it before? What would you think of me then? You'd say, well, read it first, and then make a judgment. Don't say the Bible's a load of rubbish without reading it first. So I'm giving you now a portion of the Bible, John's Gospel, for free. If anyone wants to take it, I'm a pasty white, Bolden Street preacher. Take it from my hand, please. Don't be embarrassed. It's free. Read it for yourself. Ask yourself the question, was Jesus God? Does he love me? Because you'll find the answers in this book. If anyone wants to take it, please take it from my hand.